Superman number 22, written by Scott Lobdell, art by Eddie Barrows, Daniel HDR, and Geraldo Borges. Last issue, we had a whole thing with Superman, like his friends or whatever were getting aspects of his personality, and then there was a Hive Queen who abducted Hector Hammond, but Hector Hammond maybe took control. So this issue picks up with Hector being held at gunpoint because he obviously was like threatening the Hive Queen and trying to take control. And he's like, Uncle, I give up, I give up. And the Hive Queen is like, oh, Hector, don't you understand? You're just a tool. You're to be used by us. Like, you're a prisoner. And then Hector's like, oh, geez, can we maybe have a compromise? I don't know. I'm impressed by the size of your operations here. You've got such a wonderful place. If only you would just let me, psych. And then he just launches an attack on the Hive Queen, and it's apparently all the soldiers were just mental projections. And Hector's like, you idiot, none of them even had any like backstory or memories. Like, I knew they were all fake from the get-go. How dare you think you can pull that over on me, Hector Hammond? And so he pulls her up and is just like, now I'm going to take care of your operation here. I'm going to take control of it, and I'm going to play with all the toys that you've made. And the Hive Queen's like, this isn't a game, this is war. And then we get Superman. And Superman's just standing on the edge of a city and just like, boy, I'm not prepared to fight anything with like psychic powers. I'm so strong and I can punch things and incinerate things, but I don't know how I'm supposed to be able to deal with a psychic threat. And he goes through everything that's happened since Scott Lobdell started writing this book. And he's like, okay, well, time to become Clark Kent. And he puts on his outfit and he's like, oh, I even have x-ray vision. And I can't, that can't even help me because the brain is more complicated than just the electrical impulses inside of it. And he sits down on a bench, and Kat Grant, who is, of course, doing a website with him, comes up, and she's got an empty coffee cup with never had anything in it, and she's wearing cheaper shampoo, according to Superman's super senses, and just be like, geez, she's really sunk everything into this site we've got going on, and I haven't done anything but play it off as a joke. She really does believe in this. I need to stop being such a dick. And so he says to her, like, look, I do have a story in the works. Have you heard something about the 20? And we get the explanation that the 20 are 20 people who went missing all the way back during Brainiac's, like, bottling of Metropolis. And they're missing persons or whatever. And apparently one of them is a guy named Grimm, who, if I'm remembering correctly, is a villain from, like, a single issue of Teen Titans, also written by Scott Lobdell. So at that point, Kat's like, oh my god, thank you, Clark, you're the best. Solving the 20 mystery would be the greatest thing ever. So yeah. Then we go back to Hector Hammond, who is looking through the computers of Hive Queen, and as he's doing so, and he's like, oh man, this is actually pretty cool stuff. I'm super into this. But then the sentries activate and they start firing at Hector, and he is killed. But it turns out that was all an illusion as well. The Hive Queen actually did manage to bamboozle Hector long enough that she could slink down into the sewer system beneath, which is apparently a labyrinth that was designed by her, and so there's no way that anyone could find her. And she's like, whatever, let her run. I now claim control of Hive. Me, Hector Hammond. And everyone's like, hail, Hector. So then we see the Hive Queen go down into the sewers and just like, I'm so sorry, my father. I was waiting for your return, and now I've jeopardized everything. I will raise the city to the ground if that's what it takes. So then we go to Superman, who flies up to Jimmy Olsen, who, reminder, is rich now because his parents died. And he's just lounging in a swimming pool in his living room, a full in-ground swimming pool, mind you. And as Superman comes up, he's like, oh, hey, Superman, yeah, Jeeves, get me out of the water. And Superman's like, hey, yeah, Jimmy, just Just wanted to say that I'm sorry about the death of your parents. He's like, what are you talking about? My parents aren't dead. And he's like, you said they were dead last issue. I was like, oh, yeah, no, I was going through some weird psychic stuff, wasn't I? Yeah, no, it turns out my parents just went missing for 3 months. And because of their estate stuff, that means that I take control of their sizable fortune. And Superman's like, yes, that makes perfect sense, Jimmy. Your parents were always recluses, and now you have all of this money. Anyway, the ground started rumbling, and Superman's like, oh, geez, what's that? Got to go check on it. So he goes down, and he sees out of all the buildings in the city come these tentacle wire looking things. And he's like, oh, gee, I've seen these before. Where have I seen these before? And it turns out he immediately remembers, wait a minute, crap. These were Brainiac tubes. When he was invading, they were the whole metal tube things. So he's like, all right, look, I got to pull him up from the roots and toss him in the sun. It's the only way to deal with this. But before he can do anything, he's attacked psychically. Oh, darn, if only he had a defense against that. And he tumbles to the ground. And we see the Hive Queen come up, and she says, oh, he should have never left us on Earth, the 20. So Hive Queen is one of the 20. And it's like, oh, we're so much stronger than he could have imagined, but I'm preparing the city for his return. Superman, Brainiac will be back soon, and we're going to be ready to welcome him. And we see Hector is looking on via hologram, and he's like, that will not do. So over in Action Comics, we had an issue where Hector Hammond is already in control of Hive, and he is up in space, and he is looking at this ship, and I was immediately confused, because as I was reading the book, I was like, wait a minute, isn't Hector Hammond in the Superman book? And it's implied in that book that, like, okay, because we go to Action where he's in control of things, as soon as he shows up in the last issue and says, I'm in control of things, you expect that to be it. You just say, like, oh, okay, yeah, he's in control of things now. But then we come back to this issue, and this issue says, oh, actually, no, he just got in control of things. Which means that Action was set after this issue, but there's nothing in either Action or Superman that says read them in that order. So, like, what in the hell are the editors doing? And more importantly, Scott Lobdell is writing both books. He could have easily have restructured this to make sense, but no, he decided, no, screw you. If you're reading one or the other, they have it in the front of it, like, screw you. I'm so upset with these books. And the worst part is that next week, I believe, let me check on that. Yes, next week marks part 1 of the Psy-War crossover event between Action Superman and Superboy. I'm so upset. I cannot even begin to express that. So, yeah, this was a book. It feels like we're retconning from issue to issue. Like, he writes an issue when he's drunk, and then he wakes up, realizes, oh, wait, none of that made sense with what I was going for, retcons half of it, and then gets drunk again for the other half. Like, why did Jimmy's parents not have to be dead? Like, why just turn that around immediately? I don't understand. It's just poor writing the whole way through, and it's getting an event. Ugh. All right, I'm going to go ahead and just get the rating on this and then end it. It's a 4. And I think that's a little bit harsh, but I stand by it because it's the culmination of it just being poor writing after poor writing. And this is how we introduce an event. This is the issue we get saying, oh, the Psy-War has begun. Like, screw you, man. I'm so not okay with this. 4.